You are Locked On Eagles POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
That's right. Super Bowl bound are the Philadelphia Eagles as they win the NFC Championship game in a rout. Let's go to the play the song. Play the song, guys. Stop playing for me. There we go.
Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly, score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S-E.
Oh, there you go. That's a way to start it out, Harry.
Oh,
Eagles
man.
are going to Super Bowl 59.
You could just hear like Merrill Reese singing that in the booth today. Like, fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory.
Hit it, Mike. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, huge win. I mean, it was a blowout. They took advantage of turnovers similar to what Washington did the week before against Detroit.
Yeah.
I thought the game was a pretty good game. It was 14-12. It was a tight game. Washington withstood the early onslaught with the big Saquon touchdown. And you kind of had a football game. And then the turnover fest started. Yeah. And you just cannot give this Eagles offense short fields, extra possessions. You know, they got the possession at the end of the half because of the kickoff return fumble. And then the possession to start the third quarter. And, next thing you know, it's a landslide. And, credit to the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts didn't turn it over. And, Saquon was Saquon. It just seems like every week now you can just sort of, check the box. He's going to make a big 50 to 60 plus yard run.
How about the first run from scrimmage?
The first play from scrimmage, exactly. 61? 61 yards,
yeah.
To the house. And from then on, you just kind of had this feel like, okay, this Washington team is good. They're not great. They've got a good quarterback that could end up being great in a couple of years if he gets more pieces and a better offensive line, but they're just not there yet.
They're punching above their class.
Yeah, the Eagles just showed them, hey, you know what? You're not here yet. We're going to step on your throat. You're going to turn it over, and we're going to take advantage. And we got the better team, and we're going to the Super Bowl. And that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, they're going to Super Bowl 59. Today's show brought to you by Eagles Postcast, brought to you by FanDuel. Super Bowl 59, that's right, it is here, 2 weeks. And there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with the FanDuel Sportsbook. And new customers can bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $250 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. I can't believe the Eagles are going back, Harry. Now, this is like a sign. You and I, first year we did the midday program, Eagles went to the Super Bowl and won.
Right.
We returned this year for the Locked On Eagles Postcast. They have a monumental season and are going back to the Super Bowl.
Right. I mean, we missed that 1 year together, but yeah, you're right. I mean, two out of the three last, Super Bowl trips, we were a part of the broadcast tandem. So you might want to hire us. You might want to keep us hired.
Yeah.
And maybe expand our coverage. I don't know. Wink, wink. But
yeah.
I'm
in.
You're in?
Yeah, I'm in.
Hey, I got you in.
Yeah, I'm in. You're burning on the couch.
Oh man, but I'll tell you, it was kind of an interesting thing to me watching the offensive line. You knew Juergens was out, prior to the game. You were like, what's going on here? This could be big. You move, Landon Dickerson to center, and then he gets hurt.
Yeah.
And it was just one of these things where you're like, man, this is sort of the cornerstone of this football team is this offensive line.
It is.
And they cobbled it together today with really no problem.
Like Mailata got beat on that one play to the outside, and the inside of the pocket was collapsed when Juergens came back in.
Right.
If they're going to have a chance, that's going to be their chance in the second half.
Right.
But ultimately, it was big plays, a game. I know people give Jalen Hurts a lot of guff in this town because
why? And why?
They shouldn't.
Tell me why, though.
It's ridiculous. You know why? You know exactly why, because they look at other guys in other cities like Josh Allen, who's great. Mahomes,
he's terrific.
They're great, cool players, but they view Hurts more as a game manager.
And what's wrong with that?
He's a game winner.
Yeah.
Did you see the stat that Fox put up, Harry? 12-1 since the bye in games that he started and finished, and he had 2 turnovers.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. And we've talked about this each and every week here on the Eagles Postcast on Locked On, that he is not turning the ball over the way he was last year. Last year, he was a turnover machine, whether it was interceptions, fumbles. I mean, he was loose with the football. And we, this year he's been really good with it, and he's been very efficient. Yeah, he'll make this spectacular play with his legs every once in a while. Now, he didn't really have to do it today. He did it last week prior to getting hurt.
A nice touchdown
against the Rams
too, after Barkley laid that second layer block for him too.
Well, yeah. But I mean, like he didn't have to make like the big 20 to 30 yard play that he's known to make, but he's capable of it. And he just managed the game. He's got 2 really good receivers. He's got a really good tight end who made a couple of plays again today. And you can lean on this running back and this offensive line and this defense.
Yeah.
The defense was spectacular today. Jalen Carter, and we've been talking about this we've been documenting this each and every week. And I've gotten in fights with New York Giants fans of all people who dare to speak up on social media about anybody on their football team. I'm saying this is the best defensive tackle in the league. And he is. Jalen Carter is the best defensive tackle in the league.
Yeah.
He's better than Fletcher Cox. He's better than anybody in the league. He makes an impact 2 or 3 times in a game, and that's very difficult from that position.
And what he also does from that position is
he plays every snap.
And he puts his line mates, linebackers, and everybody else in a position to succeed because he commands.
Yes.
So, like Nolan Smith with another sack around the edge, he can run, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And you saw Jordan Davis got his 2nd sack of the season today.
Yep.
You see how pumped up those 2 are together?
Oh, yeah.
Sideline?
Absolutely.
I mean,
the Georgia boys.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give – there's a guy that we even talked about. I don't think we've mentioned his name maybe once this entire season here on the Eagles Postcast, and that's Kellen Moore. Because when they got Saquon Barkley, you don't know how it's going to work when you get a guy. You have these, you go, okay, great running back, but are we going to become a running team in a passing league? And they found a way to become more of a running team, but not just a running team.
Right.
By keeping guys like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Goddard, involved, and Hurts, obviously, but still by able to control games and feed the monster that is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Moore's done a really nice job.
No, he really has. And all this sort of came together after that bye week when they were 2-2, and it took, that first month of the season for both of these new coordinators to sort of figure out the talent that they had, because, none of these teams do anything in preseason. They practice and so forth, but they really don't know what these guys are going to do in game situations because they don't play games until September. September is the preseason that counts. And the Eagles coordinators, both to their credit, figured it out. And they relied on a heavy offensive line that they had and a running back that was just thirsty for people to block for him. Yeah. And it's almost like high school or college football, watching him play football, because he gets 1 or 2 blocks and he's gone.
Forget it. Yeah.
It's like watching a great player in high school or college that can just take over the game.
It's not really supposed to happen in the NFL.
No, it's not supposed to. You're right. Exactly
like the first touchdown run. He gets through. He gets a good block and a good chip on the edge. And then 2 guys got a shot at him, and he kind of spins. His balance is so pristine.
Yeah.
And he gets through, and then he's got the breakaway speed. It's really ridiculous. I think you're right, Harry. Like, he's a guy that comes out of Penn State, had a great collegiate career, but just never really had the line in front of him in New York.
And never had a quarterback that anybody ever cared about. Like, if you're going to respect the quarterback, and you got to honor him in certain respects, then the running back's going to get some play. He never had that there either.
Yeah. You got to have that option to be really effective too.
Yep.
He was always keyed on there. So, just a tremendous performance again. He ends up with a $118. I mean, when you're averaging like 7 yards a carry in the NFL consistently,
that's insane.
That's high school.
That's insane.
Yeah,
it really is.
It just doesn't happen. So, another tremendous game by him. I was really happy to see, going back to Kellen Moore, the involvement of A.J. Brown early. The first pass, I think he dropped, but he ended up with 6 on the day. Some really big catches, and you could just see his engagement, his mental buy-in today.
Oh, yeah.
And the body language, and also the camaraderie in that body language with his teammates, and in particular, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, the score was 14-12, and this is when the game was still really close. There was a 4th and 5 play, and Hurts put it up to A.J. Brown down the left sideline, and Lattimore's guard, trying to cover him one-on-one. And Lattimore, was a great player in college. He was a really good player in New Orleans for a couple of years. He can't play anymore without using his hands.
Yeah.
So he's trying to check him on the line of scrimmage. Brown gets past him down the sideline, and Jalen Hurts put that ball on an arc right into his hands, made a terrific catch for a first down. And, they ended up getting a tush-push TD and going up 20-12. And that was really kind of the game where it really started. Then the more turnovers escalated it, but that was a brilliant play by Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown.
No doubt about it. Just to see all those guys involved, and then in the second half, you started to see Devontae Smith get a little bit more involved, and I mean the stadium, looking at the TV, is still packed as they're doing.
How about
this.
Shipley?
Yeah.
Shipley made a couple of good kick returns, and then he had
first one was a good
run.
one.
Yeah,
got to the 45 or something, and then a huge run at the end, and then he scores a touchdown. I think that Saquon Barkley was happier for him at the end of that game than anyone.
I know. He's just like jumping into the air, throwing his his helmet up there. But your guy, and you've been talking about this guy all year.
I was on him early.
Baun.
Yeah. Us fellow ball guys got to stick together, Harry.
Exactly right. And he made the forced fumble on De'Ami Brown, who's very soft with the football, by the way.
Peanut punch.
And they know that. Like at this point in the year, when you've played a team not 2 times, but you're playing them the 3rd time, like you know them so well. You know the roster. You've watched all the film. You know there's certain guys that are soft with the ball, and he's one of them. And Baun came in there and punched that ball out for a forced fumble. And it ended up, resulting in the Eagles going up 14-3 with a Saquon Barkley outside zone run to the right for a touchdown. But Baun has been brilliant, and he's going to the Pro Bowl, and deservedly so.
All-Pro, too.
All-Pro, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the big deal. All-Pro is way trumps Pro Bowl and for more money and everything, and he deserves everything he gets. But what a signing. To me, that, there's one thing drafting guys out of Georgia or Alabama in the draft when you get the opportunity, okay? Howie's figured that out.
Yeah.
It took him a while. He tried to, be cute, drafting wide receivers from TCU and, places like this. He's figured it out. But to go find a guy like Zack Baun, who was a special teams guy, 4th linebacker, 5th linebacker, whatever he was with New Orleans, who was kind of a middling team, and to bring him here and have him with this defensive coordinator that has made him into a star. Yeah. That, to me, is one of the biggest stories of the year for this Eagles football team.
He could be the NFL DYOP. Could be the defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
So good on him. Let's take our first break. We'll come back with more as the Eagles are going to Super Bowl 59. Who are they going to play? Ooh, we got to discuss that too. We're back after this. All right, let me tell you about LinkedIn. Maybe you're looking for a gig. You're looking for some people to work for your gig, right? Yeah, that's exactly right. As a small business owner, your work doesn't end when the clock hits 5. Now, you are way more committed than that. And your business is always on your mind, which means when it's time to hire, you need a partner that works just as hard as you do. Help you out a little bit. That's where LinkedIn Jobs comes in now. When you clock out, LinkedIn clocks in. LinkedIn makes it easy to post your job for free, share it with your network, get qualified candidates all in one place. And by the way, LinkedIn is the hub. I know Harry uses LinkedIn. I'm on there as well. And it's a great place to look for jobs, network for jobs, and do everything you need to do. So post your job with LinkedIn's new feature, and it can help you write job descriptions and then quickly get your job in front of the right people with deep candidate insights. That's the key. You don't want all these You don't need donkey resumes for a job they're not qualified. You got to get the right people in front of you so they don't waste your time. Here's the pro tip. Add the hashtag hiring to frame your profile picture to double your reach to qualified candidates. No wonder 72% of small businesses say LinkedIn helps them find high-quality hires. So do yourself a favor. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. You can post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, Eagles with a 48. Oh, that wasn't the final. No, I got to update my score here.
55-23. 55 points.
Wow, that's the highest scoring NFC Championship game. One of our commenters has said here. Let me see if I can bring him up.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's most. This guy, Bam Man, says most points in an NFC or AFC Championship game in history. And the Eagles are a part of it.
Yeah, the Eagles. 7.0 yards per play. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting.
That's pretty good.
How about this guy? Yorn Nayan says, congratulations, Philadelphia. Now go to America proud and destroy the Chiefs from a Vikings fan.
Destroy the Chiefs?
We don't know if
the Chiefs are going to make it.
Yeah.
I have Chiefs fatigue like you wouldn't believe. I bet the Bills money line today. And maybe it was partly because I want the Bills to be there. I guess it probably was. Yeah. But, it was plus 100. The Chiefs are not a big favorite at all. No, they're a very narrow favorite
team. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows?
I don't have a preference from a football standpoint. Like when the Eagles got to the Super Bowl in 2017, I remember us having these debates on the air. Do you want the Patriots or do you want the Jacksonville Jaguars? Everybody wanted the Jaguars. I said I want the Patriots.
I did too.
Yeah. You and I were in lockstep there. We're like, look, if you're going to win it,
beat the best. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't want people from other cities go, yeah, you want a Super Bowl, but you beat the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Kind of a lame Super Bowl.
That was one of the things, not that annoyed me, but, when the Phillies won the World Series, they beat the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yep.
And I was kind of like,
where's the Yankees?
Kind of wish it was the Yankees. And then it lost to the Yankees the next year. But, you kind of remember it, man, we beat the best. They beat Tom Brady,
They beat the team that beat them in 2005, the 2004 season.
Yeah.
And the quarterback that beat them. They beat Brady, they beat Belichick, and you win your first Super Bowl that way. It is sweeter.
Yeah.
It is. But I don't know which team. If you have a preference for either, it's not ducking either one of the teams because they're both really good.
Yeah. It would be great to vanquish the Chiefs because they're on such a great
Andy
run.
Reid.
Andy Reid, Mahomes' 7 straight AFC Championship games is incredible.
Yeah.
So to beat them would be terrific, but to beat Buffalo. Poor Buffalo.
I think it'd be more fun with Buffalo there, if I'm honest with you, Harry, because of the Bills Mafia. I feel for the Buffalo sports fan in general. Because
I do
too, and because of the Bills. They go to 4 straight in the late '80s, into the
early '90s. Yeah,
yeah, and they don't win any of them.
Nope.
Wide right on the first one from Scott Norwood.
Yeah,
and then you look at all those years where they stunk out loud. Now they get it right.
Yeah,
and that fan base. That fan base is crazy, but it's a very likable crazy.
Yeah, they are.
I want them to see some success.
They'll just break their own arms or tear their rotator cuff jumping off a table into a table pregame, but they don't really hurt anybody else.
They're like old school WWF fan base.
Yes,
Superfly snuck off the top rope of the RV through a table onto Ivan Putski.
Yeah, Ivan Putski.
Polish power. Harry.
Love the Polish power. Oh, terrific. But yeah, you're right. Think of those two fan bases. It's in New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
Think of Bills Mafia and Eagles Nation down there in New Orleans.
Mardi Gras.
I don't know if the French Quarter can handle that, to be honest.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
look, the Eagles are going to be there. It's who they're going to be there against is the question.
Yeah.
And if Kansas City goes, they've been to a number of Super Bowls over the last couple of years, so maybe it's dampened a little bit for their fans because they've had opportunities to go to recent Super Bowls with their team and see a win.
Right.
The Eagles fans are going to travel no matter what, I can fully guarantee that the Buffalo Bill fans will travel very well. They're doing anything they can to get out of that damn weather in Buffalo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And us here too. I was just in Florida, right?
Yeah.
And the last 2 days it was in the 50s. And that was like warm for the whole week. It was brutal. So I come back here, and now I notice the temperature's going to come up a little bit. But you were enjoying your Arctic freeze.
I'm not enjoying it right now, Harry.
Oh, you're not?
With the treatment I'm planning that I'm on.
Oh, okay.
The chemotherapy that I'm taking causes something called neuropathy.
Oh.
And if your hands and feet get cold, they get painful.
Your extremities get very cold. Yeah.
Yep. And I have to wear gloves when I'm outside. It's very painful.
Oh, you're not used to wearing the gloves. You're used to dropping the gloves.
I'm used to dropping the mitts, Harry, pull the jersey over the head, but I can't do that now. It's like somebody's like totally screwing with me. They know I'm miserable in summer, and I count down the days to winter and hockey.
Right.
And that's when I get sick. I love cold weather. I love being out in it, and that's when I get sick and I can't enjoy it. It's like, whatever. But let's take our last time out, Harry, because the Eagles are going to Super Bowl 59, and you got some great information from FanDuel on how they can get involved. Here we go.
Well, Jay, Super Bowl 59 is here. One game, only two teams, and endless possibilities. There's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action. With live betting all game long, you can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting feature lets you stay involved no matter what happens on the field. And the app, it's super easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl. What could be more exciting? That's icing on the cake. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com and get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. Bet with FanDuel, the official partner of Super Bowl 59.
Oh, it's got a good ring to it.
You notice I was trying to do a little Jim Nance kind of, feel there.
You had some time with Nance this week, huh, Harry?
Oh, I spent like 2 minutes with him.
Here we go, Jim.
It was terrific. Yeah. That's what we're going to hear in Romo. Jim.
Oh, I can't wait, man. I'm so pumped.
I know.
How was Nance, though? He is such a gentleman.
Oh, dude, he's the most gracious, big broadcaster that I've ever been around. And I've been around a few of them.
Yeah.
With covering Super Bowls and just remotes and dealing with certain guys in our industry. He's the most gracious and cool guy that I've met. And
he's got a love for you're number one in golf.
Oh,
he
yeah.
delivers the golf
of
like
course.
None other.
Of course. And that's where I saw him at the PGA show. He was terrific. He was terrific. We got a little interview coming out on Inside Golf. You'll see it.
Oh, cool.
On NBC Sports Philly. It's only about 2.5 minutes, but he was so gracious and humble to do it. It was terrific because it wasn't planned.
I hear his voice and I hear the master's music behind it.
I know.
And I have not perfected meditation yet, although I'm willing to learn.
Yeah.
But I hear that voice and that music in my head, and I can be instantly transported to Amen Corner, Harry, in my comfortable sectional.
I've been to Amen Corner.
Oh,
it is.
I'm surprised you left Amen Corner, Harry.
But I want to get back to this game here a second because you saw a team like the Eagles who are just they're polished and they were able to finish this without turnovers. And you saw the other team who was kind of an upstart and maybe a lot, most people wouldn't have even thought they'd have been in this game. To their credit, they beat Detroit on the road by making Detroit look like the team that didn't belong on their home field. But you saw a team that just wasn't ready. And the Eagles just said, you know what? Boom. I'm putting my foot on your throat. You're coughing up the ball, and we're not going to let you up off the map. And I think that's something that should not be overglossed. Like they finished them. The Eagles finished them. You know what I mean? Like you're turning the ball over. We're going to make you turn it over more. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, my last point I want to make on this Eagles postcast where they punch a ticket to go to another Super Bowl. I was a really critical. I was a harsh critic of the Eagles organization for many years. I didn't believe in a lot of the stuff that Jeff Lurie did, and I thought a lot of it was hogwash. And I wasn't a Howie Roseman fan from a personality. I'm not a Nick Sirianni fan from a personality.
Me either.
But I will say this: Philadelphia is not an easy city to have a sports organization. It's very demanding. This Eagle fan base demands you are in the mix every year, and that comes with a lot of pressure. And the group that they have assembled there, and it starts with the owner, has embraced that pressure, embraced this fan base, embraced the spotlight and that comes with it, and all the accolades that come with it and finances that come with it. And they continue to get the freaking job done because they're a first-class organization. They really are.
Oh, they are.
Whether you want to go back to the old gold standard or whatever, I don't know. That's ultimately about championships to me. But they clearly know what the hell they're doing. They have a great reputation in the league. They do a lot of good for the community, and they win a whole truckload of football games. And they're going back to the Super Bowl. So I got to give them stick taps to them for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy in this city.
No doubt about it. And I don't know who was largely responsible for bringing in these two other coordinators, because when you're a good football team, you lose coaches. I mean,
they've lost every year.
Andy Reid lost coaches each and every year he was successful here in Philadelphia for all those years, and it's continuing Kansas City, and it continues here. When you're good, guys want to hire your assistants. They want to hire your coordinators and make them head coaches and so forth. That's the way it goes. And it's the organizations that really have a good foundation and structure and culture that are able to replenish those guys because they know what they're looking for. In a coach. And the reset of offensive and defensive coordinators this year was astounding
to
me. And it took a little while for it to, to sort of sink in, that first month. But once it did, man, I'll tell you what, you
won't find two better that had a better season. You really, Fangio's
no way.
From going to the 32nd ranked defense to the number 1 defense.
Yeah.
The way he's done it and everything else that's going along with it. I mean, you're so right. And it's organizational DNA, Harry, is what it is. It's what the Pittsburgh Steelers have always had.
Well, yeah. And now they need to make a coaching change, but they won't. But anyway, I get what you're saying. But the whole thing is now gone from where Sirianni is now sort of this – Nick Sirianni is now this sort of CEO coach kind of guy. Yeah. That's sort of in the middle – slightly above the two coordinators, but it's really, to me, about the two coordinators and their effects, on both of their squads.
Yeah, it's so pronounced. It's incredible.
Yeah,
2-2. When we sat here going into that bye week, we didn't know what way this season was going, where it was going. But boy, has it been a ride ever since. And they're going to Super Bowl 59. And I love the lead up to Super Bowl. It's so much fun, and this is going to be a fun one too.
Yeah, and the GM, we talked about Zack Baun. That acquisition was an under-the-radar thing. Yep. But him going out and get Saquon Barkley from the stupid Giants, I mean, you think about it. For their offense and their defense, those two guys, I've made the difference, along with Jalen Carter, who was a terrific draft pick and really a can't miss.
And Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah. Quinyon Mitchell was a terrific find. I mean, I had no idea about Quinyon Mitchell because I don't watch MAC football, but obviously Nick Sirianni or a couple of the scouts do.
Yeah.
Or Howie Roseman does. But they're terrific, and they've just made every right move, it seems, within the last 12 to 18 months with the reshuffle of coaches and players.
They seem to have a culture down there too.
Yeah.
They really seem to enjoy it. And look, winning will do that, fixes everything. Last thing, Harry, for you. Yeah. Who do they play in Super Bowl 59? Are you going with the Bills?
Yeah, I'm going with the Bills.
All right, I'm going to go. I'll take the Chiefs just to be the contrarian, but I want the Bills.
Wow.
All right, Eagles are going to Super Bowl 59. We'll have the Eagles post-Super Bowl 59 postcast. Maybe a little extended program as well. So we'll see how that plays out. Thanks for making Locked On Eagles Postcast your first listen. For your second, make sure you check out the Locked On NFL now with 2 shows every day. First, the Madman Tyler Rowland kicks off your morning with a double shot of NFL espresso, followed by The Barbershop with Tony Wiggins with some real NFL talk. Find Locked On NFL on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast.
We're going to the shop, Mo.
Yeah, let's go to Sin City, Bo.
Yeah.
Eagles fly, Super Bowl bound. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you next time on the Locked On Eagles. All right, Bo.
All right.